everyone, and welcome back to another great episode of Raihana's Cuisines. Today we're going to be doing an habanero marinated baked chicken. So let's get started. I have here about 1.5 chickens that I have cut, cleaned, and marinated with just some tablespoon of ginger and garlic, half a teaspoon of green chutney, and a teaspoon of lemon pepper. So we're going to keep that aside, and I apologize for that because I would have added it at the time when I'm making the video, but I completely forgot, and I always am programmed to do it. Whenever I cut my chicken, clean it, this is how I marinate my chicken. Here I have a couple things that we're going to be using to marinate the chicken. So I've got here one really large bell pepper, red bell pepper, and it's very important in this recipe to use the red bell pepper because we're going to get the really nice red color. I've got about a tablespoon of black pepper, 2 tablespoons of really good quality paprika. I've got an habanero pepper here, which I'm still debating whether to use half or the whole thing. Salt to taste. I've got some black vinegar. I've got a lime here that we're gonna be juicing and zesting, and I've got about 2 strands, so about 10-12 leaves of really good fresh mint, half a cup of oil, and the oil that I'm using is just some oil that I had left over from my fried chicken. If you don't have any leftover, I just like to flavor it with that oil. It just holds so much flavor in it. If you don't have that oil on hand, don't worry, use any canola oil, or you can even use olive oil, which is perfectly fine. And that's it. I have my salt in here. So we're gonna get started. We're just gonna go ahead and get everything in this little blender here. So all I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna cut my bell pepper here. It's a really simple recipe, and the best thing about it is that you can marinate this a day or 2 ahead of time, but it is extremely important for you to marinate it for at least 24 hours before you cook it. We will be baking this chicken at 425 degrees for about 45 minutes to an hour, depending on how your oven is. Everybody's oven is different. So mine usually takes close to about 45 to 50 minutes, and then we're also going to be garnishing this chicken once it's done with some fresh cilantro. So I've got my bell pepper in here. I'm going to go ahead and add my black pepper. Basically, we're just going to go ahead and add everything in there. The black vinegar, paprika. Let's go ahead and just gonna go ahead and take the leaves off of the strand here. It just gives it a really unique flavor. I'm going to go ahead and zest my lime, and then we're also going to go ahead and juice this lime. Just want to make sure you don't get any of the white skin in there. It's going to get really bitter. Okay. And this chicken just turns out really good because of all the fresh flavors that it has in there with the lime and everything else in there. And it also turns out extremely spicy. So you could, I love the taste of the habanero, although I can't have it. It smells really good. You want to make sure you use gloves if you're not really used to working with really hot peppers. And with this, I am going to make sure that I take all the seeds out of it, because the seeds are going to give it even more heat, and I don't want to give it any more heat than it already has. I'll drop that in there, and then we're going to wait until we blend everything. Then we're going to go ahead and add the lime. We're going to go ahead and add half a cup of oil. Now again, this oil is flavored. It's And again, you don't have to use the flavored oil. You can go ahead and use olive oil if you want. I'm just gonna go ahead, cover this, close this up. Okay, go ahead and blend this. Okay, so see how we've got a really beautiful color here. Okay, what we're gonna do now is, oh, I wish you guys could smell this. It smells amazing. I've got one bell pepper here, and I was wondering what that was, but it's actually just a bell pepper, and I'm just gonna leave it in there. Okay. Okay, so just gonna go ahead, mix everything up really well. And then when we come back, I'm gonna put this in the refrigerator. We're gonna come back after 24 hours. I'm gonna show you how we're gonna stick this back into the oven. And then when it's done, we're just gonna hit it with some fresh cilantro and some fresh mint. Okay, you just want to cover it up with some saran wrap and just leave it in the refrigerator for about 24 hours. So it's been about 24 hours exactly. I took the chicken out of the refrigerator. Have my oven preheating at 425 degrees. And it looks really, really good. So all I'm going to do now is I'm just going to put it in a pan, and you want to make it into a close but single layer, so you don't have two different you know, up and down, so the temperatures are going to vary. So I'm just going to make sure that I've got the marinade and all the chicken here. Okay, so we're going to put them pretty close together. Make sure you kind of dip it in and get all the marinade. Okay, this should bake for about an hour to 45 minutes to an hour. And then we're gonna turn our broil on, and we're just gonna broil it so it gets kind of charbroiled. Alright, I'm just gonna pour the marinade. I just don't want to waste the marinade, so I'm just gonna pour that right on just like so. Okay. Stick this in the oven. We're gonna come back after about 45 minutes. I'm gonna show you how this looks. So it took about an hour, exactly an hour in the oven for my chicken to get done. I turned on my broil. I broiled it just until I could see that it's charbroiled. There you have it. Okay, just gonna close this up. Right. So now for presentation, I'm just gonna show you what we're gonna do here. Okay. I'm just gonna take a really nice big platter. I'm turning them around a little bit just so that I can get all the really nice marinade that we had used. And it's cooked so well that it's actually coming off the bone. So I have to be very careful with it that I don't handle it too much. Okay, we're going to be using some fresh chopped coriander to garnish with. Also, I've cut up some cucumbers. I'm going to be using that also for garnish. And some lime wedges. So if anybody wants to squeeze that on their chicken, they can. And this is such a really great chicken because you can even marinate it for more than 24 hours. So if you really have a big party planned, get it marinated for, you know, even 2 days, and it's gonna come out really tasty. Okay. All right, to this, we're just gonna sprinkling some coriander right on top, just like so. Okay, got some mint leaves here. Add it to the side. The lemons. Just go ahead and add some cucumbers like that on the side. And it can't get any more perfect than this because it smells amazing in here. Okay. And if you have some little peppers, they should be in season right now, which is in winter. You should get some really nice small bell peppers. You can, in fact, I have some. So why don't I grab some from the refrigerator here? So just to show you that there's so many different ways that we can decorate this. And these are really nice because they're edible. My 10-year-old just devours these just coming out of the packet. So just, you know, add some color. There you go. I'm gonna grab a fork so I can give it a taste test. Ooh. And I know we used the habanero in here, so I just hope it's not too spicy, but we'll see. It's really juicy. Cooking it at the high temperature for about 45 minutes to an hour has locked all the juices in there. By broiling it, you have this char-broiled flavor in there, and it tastes amazing. I am going to be serving this chicken with a bin dip that I just made. So if you haven't seen the video on my bin dip, please do so. Thank you for spending time with me today. Really appreciate it. Hope you guys like my videos. If you haven't subscribed yet, there's a button right there. Hit subscribe so you won't lose on any of the new recipes that always come up. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Raihana's Cuisines. Hope you can join me here next time with another great recipe. Thank you then, friends.